I recall during the early night hours editing and uploading the April 20, my dinner video. I was pleasantly surprised to have enough space on my phone to render the initially 21-minute UCut video project file in full 1080p quality on my phone. I recall initially starting the rendering without really editing the video project during the late morning hours. In order to check whether I would have the space to render the April 20 my dinner video as a UCut video editor file or whether I would have to edit and upload the April 20 my dinner video on my laptop. Though it wasn't until after seeing that the UCut video project file started rendering, I then canceled it because I hadn't yet edited it. Though I didn't edit the UCut video project until the early night hours. And while reviewing the audio and video, I cut out 9.7 seconds as I essentially repeat myself at that point. I recall during the late morning hours, I edited on my laptop in Camtasia Studio 2019 thus. At that time, those video files, raw video files, were only on my laptop. I edited the raw video I took, those files, of when me and my mom went to Waterstone Grill on April 19. I recall not really having to edit the videos at all. Aside from putting all the raw video files together in order. Around 6:15 in the morning, I had with my first cup of coffee a square donut that my dad got from the Salty Bread Pizza Cafe. That square donut had pretty heavy powdered sugar. It didn't seem quite like powdered sugar. Maybe better described as crystallized sugar. But it functioned the same as powdered sugar. I recall having 2 full cups of plain coffee and a partial third cup that I recall being about a third of a cup from 6:15 in the morning to about 9 in the morning. About a handful of minutes before 9 in the morning. It was the time I finished the last little sip. Of the third partial cup of plain coffee. Then at noon, I had with a glass of whole milk effectively what I'm having currently, except at the time it was just a macaroni and cheese homemade by my dad's mom. Same for the meatloaf. Though in the case of the macaroni and cheese, both what I'm having currently and what I had then. My dad prepared the bowl and added some shredded cheddar cheese to the macaroni and cheese so that it would melt when I microwaved it. I recall going to bed today around 2 p.m., 2:15 p.m. at the latest. And then waking up naturally around 7:15 p.m. before the alarm I set for 7:30 p.m. And then I turned that alarm off. I set that alarm because initially there was going to be an open mic comedy show that me and my dad would attend at that same cinema where we attended the one on Wednesday. But at the time I got up today, around that time, it was ultimately decided that my dad didn't want to go. So I didn't either. There were only plans to attend as a friend of one of my dad's friends would be part of that comedy show. Throughout the hours before I fell asleep for today, I was able to grow and harvest the carrots to feed the group of 25 wallabies that were right around here. What I'm going to do next, most likely, is to plant some beans and also some wheat. The wallabies were part of this task, so at some point I'll get some koalas and feed those too. I recall at one point, most likely during the late morning hours, planting about 10 fields of thorns, which grew instantly in order to complete an earlier task. And to complete it, I harvested those 10 fields of thorns, which took a total of 3 energy each. And I planted those thorn fields right around here. I recall that task was part of the previous Star Parchment Riddle task sets. before I got these task sets, this task set,